welcome back with another banger. It's the React Files. Let's get straight to it.
This is an update in regard to the meteorite that crash landed in Panama, and the man who found a piece of it, Ken, had been experimenting on the rock, and now something is growing out of it. And the thing is getting bigger after he exposed it to sunlight. And the reason why I'm sharing these next several videos is, one, I wanted to show you the site of where he found it, and he goes back there at night to show you that the spot that it crash landed actually is glowing with pieces, remnants of it. My question: was there a bigger piece? And if there was, where is it and who has it? Now, fast forward to current day, within the last 24 hours, he is still piecing and parting out this thing and sending it across the world. For those who are saying this has been debunked, it has not been debunked. For those who think that this is fake, I honestly don't think the situation is fake. Otherwise, if it was, he wouldn't be parting it out and sending it to everyone, because he would rapidly be called a fraud. But the danger of what he is doing has world ramifications. And it's also curious to note that he now has to black out all of the windows and doors in his house as to not let sunlight in, because this thing keeps growing. I'm going to continue to follow this story and post videos as we're updated. Take a look at this, comment below, tell me what you think.
No me explico esto. Díganme ustedes, ¿qué podría hacer? No sé qué material es esto, increíble. Esto me está asustando ya. Me está asustando. Yo no puedo creer esto. No tiene una explicación que yo sepa del lugar donde cayó el meteorito. Es algo increíble. Bueno, yo tenía rato que no venía aquí de noche. Y no sabía que esto estaba así. Aquí en esta casa. Lo malo que no salí en todo el día y no tengo que tener todo tapado porque aquí no puede entrar la luz. Acuérdense que la luz se alimenta de esa cosa que está creciendo.
Wow, thank you so much for this update. Shout outs to the Paranormal chick. Part 2 of what we seen in the last video. Now the landing spot is glowing. Why is this man dealing with this? Like, how the band called Stephen Greer. Why is, I feel like I've seen this in a movie. Remember this show back in the day, Creep Show? Like some Tales from the Crypt type stuff. Like, I feel like he keep dealing with this, he's gonna become the freaking alien.
The Wallace line!
The Wallace line.
So you have Indonesia and you have Australia, right? You have Bali, you have the Philippines, and then there's Australia. There's an invisible line between these islands that for some reason animals cannot cross. Marine biologists have no idea. Biologists have no clue why. There's only like a 20-mile difference. On this side, on the Asia side, you have tigers, elephants, monkeys, all these types of things. But then 20 miles over, you have animals that
completely different species.
are completely different species. You have marsupials like kangaroos and koalas, and then you have dingoes.
They've never observed those animals crossing over.
Even the fish will not cross over this invisible line within the ocean. Birds will not fly to the other side. It's just a border that animals instinctively just don't cross for some unknown reason.
I wonder if it's like a gravitational force or something.
But it'd have to be something we can't measure.
Yeah.
Because you know they're trying to figure that out. They'd find gravity or energy.
And why animals are the only things that don't cross it.
In some sort of simulation or matrix? Why do I ask? Because there's a viral video that's floating around the internet that shows a lunar eclipse. And once the eclipse occurs, you see multiple moons in the sky. You haven't seen the video, take a look at this. Look at this right here. Watch as they zoom in. There's the eclipse right there. And there are 3 other moons present in this video. Is that some sort of reflection? What is going on? I've paused the video right here because you could see right up there, that is the actual moon being covered during the eclipse. What are the other 3 moons that are in front of it? Here it is fully blown up for you as clear as I could get it. As you can see, the eclipse is right there in the background. What are these other 1, 2, 3 moons that are in the frame? I've run the video to see if it was AI. I put it through Gronk and through ChatGPT. Both came back saying that the video is real and was recorded somewhere in Europe or in Russia. So what did we just see on that video? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Like some type of planetary exchange. Shout out to the Jode 69 with this catch. Shout outs to Gronk for debunking whether or not it's real.
Amor, te lo juro que esa muñeca me estaba mirando hacia acá, mira. ¿Ves que parece como si nos estuviera mirando? Y bueno, amor, parpadeó. Amor, te lo juro que parpadeó.
And the sun is back behind this thing. Look at that. That is super bizarre as well. Looks like a giant beehive in the sky. And again, the sun is behind this thing, and it's the only thing like it in the sky. And you can see it's moving with the sun. Notice it's in a different location than the first photo. Look at the first one is away from this tree line here, and you're going to notice in the second photo, this anomaly, whatever it may be, seems like it's following the path of the sun. Watch how close it is to the tree line in this next image as we come to it right here. See, it's almost touching the trees, not literally, but it's behind the tree line in this photo, indicating that it's moving through the sky with the sun.
Yo, what was that? Something trying to cloak the sun or something? Shout out to Mr. MBB 333.
Así se hace un portal.
On your own.
Which ones?
Like the
Religious?
yeah.
As I see it, I just grab it. Man, this shit very demanding. This whole industry, this whole system, all this shit demanding. It's very, all this shit ran off of money. All this shit do not mean nothing. It's very demanding. This whole music industry is very demanding. As I saw the crosses in the Jesus piece, I just grabbed it. It really don't mean nothing. And as I say, this shit demanding. I'm very demanding. Man, there's a lot of devils that's coming in and out my door. So I'm a child of God. You see my Jesus piece, you see my crosses. So as I tell you, this shit very demonic and scary around here. I'm talking about the shit that's coming in and out my doors, what I'm trying to protect myself from. So as I see the Jesus piece or the crosses, I just grab it.
Is the United States ran by demons?
100%. They're involved in everything and aspects of our country. They've involved in the setup of our country. But look at this. So this is Washington, D.C. That's an owl. Whoa. So it's sitting on top of a pyramid. And these are all demonic sigils sitting on top of Washington, D.C. They're demonic sigils. The pentagram in the middle of Washington points to the White House. I mean, it's literally called the Pentagon. What's the Pentagon? It's the center section of a pentagram. They named it this on purpose.
This whole thing has been signed, sealed, and stamped by the parasites at the top. Literally cannot get any more obvious at this point. Took them exactly 33 hours to get this guy. 33 hours. 33 hours. Yeah. Okay. You know when you put the word neck in gematria, it equals 33? Trump's first day in office to September 10th is exactly 33 weeks and 3 days. From Charlie Kirk's birthday to September 10th, 47 weeks. 47's chilling here. 4 plus 7 in numerology is 11. 11 plus 11 plus 11 is 33. The Freemason compass, the 33rd degree Freemasons, the highest ranking Freemasons in the world that control everything. This is the compass they use, and it's 47 degrees. Didn't take them 31 hours, didn't take them 34 hours or 32. It's 33 hours exactly. Okay. You guys recognize this logo? The United Nations, the people that control our world, our whole entire world. They pass bills and laws that we don't even get a say in. Look how many sections that they've sectioned this off. 33. Flat Earth math too, by the way. Just another way to laugh at you. When are you guys going to realize that it's all scripted? When are you going to wake up? Need to come together and rise up. Peace and love.
That's a fact. Shout out to Sheldon Soraya 369, bringing the gematria into effect. It's funny when them numbers come to play. Some scary coincidences.
Look at this. Let's put this on screen from Amazon. Put the full screen up, please. The shooting of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, blow that up. Why does Amazon have the shooting of Charlie Kirk by Anastasia J. Casey posted one day before he was murdered, and then they updated it, and it's on the Internet Archive. That's been checked. It happened a day, September 9th. So it was already out there, and then they updated it today. Publication date, September 9th. The FBI needs to be knocking down some doors over there.
All you conspiracy theorists out there, I don't want you going crazy, but what are the odds that George Zinn, the patsy that was arrested at the Charlie Kirk assassination, also saw 9/11, he saw the planes fly into the buildings and called that in and reported it, and then he also called in a fake terrorist attack at the Boston Marathon bombing, and just so happened to get arrested at Charlie Kirk's event. So Tess Keyser, she responded to this tweet and she says, Grok, is a guy really involved in all three events like this post claims? And Grok fact checks and goes, based on a review of multiple sources, George Zinn was a witness to the 9/11 attacks, and he described seeing planes hit the towers. He was also arrested in 2013 for emailing a bomb threat joke to the Salt Lake City Marathon shortly after the Boston bombing. He pled guilty to a terrorism charge and somehow magically only received probation. He was also detained and questioned as a person of interest at the Charlie Kirk assassination on September 10th, 2025, but released without charges relating to the shooting. Then Grok went on and made sure that it told you there is no credible evidence that supports claims of his involvement in 9/11's false flag, facilitating Kirk's deaths, or Mossad ties. The main suspect in Kirk's killing is now Tyler Robinson, and he is in custody. So I asked Grok to break this one down for us, and it says so, and it wouldn't give me an answer first, as it's impossible to calculate. Well, I said use statistical probability and give me a ballpark stat on the probability of him being at all three major events. And it goes through here and it breaks it down. Then we get down here to the very bottom where it combines the probability right here. Combined probability. And it says it is equal to 0.705% or 5 times 10 to the power of 8. That translates to approximately 1 in 2 billion. Does all of that seem normal to you?
I know I usually ask, what are the odds? Has to be a coincidence, right? A 1 in 2 billion chance. That's like winning the Powerball 3 times. Shout outs to Decoded Files.
You believe that the Jews run the American government.
That's not a secret, Charlie. Israel did 9/11, Charlie.
Oh, they did. Wow.
Why are we in the middle? I served.
Explain
Why were we in
that.
the Middle East?
You can reject involvement in the Middle East without also believing Israel did 9/11. So if Israel did 9/11, help me understand this. Who were the hijackers of the planes?
They weren't hijackers.
Oh, okay.
CIA and Israel worked together.
No. Explain to me what happened on the aircraft.
Okay, first off, what we have to understand, there's only one plane that actually crashed.
No,
okay,
there were three.
No, the building's imploded.
Okay,
if a
so
plane's going to hit a building, why would the building fall down?
Time out. Flight 93, did it exist?
Flight 93 existed, yes.
Okay, so who tried to hijack that plane?
They sacrificed those people to make it look like Bush was targeted because they wanted to cover up Bush's involvement. He just happened to be in Texas reading a book to elementary kids, and they were reading a sign on a whiteboard
let me say
that talked about towers falling, Charlie.
Anti-Semitism.
We've been lied to since the beginning of this country. Jews, Freemasons, all of it's a satanic agenda. Israel is the synagogue of Satan. They're killing innocent people in Palestine over the guise of sovereignty. New World Order is coming, Charlie.
Guys, anti-Semitism is literally a brain cancer, as you could see.
How is this anti-Semitic, Charlie?
Okay. Explain to me, Flight 93, who was the hijacker?
They didn't have real hijackers, Charlie. They were plants.
Okay. So they got the black box. Of course, it was all just like a conspiracy.
Just like they found the passport miraculously 2 miles down from the crash site in
I'm sorry,
New York.
what?
They just happened to find one of the hijackers' passports laying on the ground 2 miles away from the crash site in New York. It just happened to be there. They just walked up and found it. They just randomly happened to find a perfectly good passport.
With that piece
Look
of
it
data.
up. Look, World War II was fought not over what everyone thought it was fought of. Every war is fought by. It is funded by the rich, the Rockefellers, all the rich, the Rothschilds.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
They funded all those wars.
Was Hitler bad?
I think Hitler was bad. Yes. Hitler was bad, yes. But did the Holocaust happen? The Holocaust did happen.
How many people died?
Not 6 million.
How many?
It was not 6 million.
How many?
I don't have an exact number, Charlie.
Yes.
I don't have an exact number. It wasn't 6 million.
But you said it's not 6 million. You must have an alternative. How do you know it's not 6 million?
Because there wasn't even 6 million Jews in Germany.
Okay, well, I mean, you tell me. You're the expert.
The reason why Jews have been run out of 109 countries throughout history is because every time they get into a country, they try and take it over. In Nazi Germany, again, they are having transgender surgeries, underground transgender surgeries. They're promoting homosexuality in schools.
And Jewish donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because Jewish donors have been the number one funding mechanism of radical, open border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews. And it's not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it. It's like time for you guys to wake up and say no more. Draw a line in the sand. I don't care if you hate me.
Charlie did use the word secular when referring to them. Shouts to Electric Being for posting this. What a debate that was. And it's true that passport was found about 2 blocks, 2 miles away from the site. Why would they need passports anyway? It looked like Charlie was learning something in real time right there. And by the time he got back to his studio, he was singing a different tune. Rest in peace of Charlie Kirk.
These are some of the most disturbing things that were found in the rubble of the Twin Towers. In the wreckage, workers found a fragment of a Bible literally fused to a slab of steel by the fire and pressure. Eerily, it was open to the verse, "An eye for an eye. But I say to you, resist not evil." Amid the ash and twisted metal, investigators recovered a hijacker's passport lying intact on the sidewalk near the burning towers. It belonged to Satam al-Sukami of Flight 11 and was handed to police by a passerby just minutes before the South Tower collapsed. The fragile document's survival amid destruction has fueled many conspiracy theories, though experts claim that light objects can be blown clear by the force of a crash. Known as the meteor, this was the result of 5 floors of the World Trade Center being compressed together after the buildings collapsed. It's not known if there are any human remains inside. Rescue crews uncovered 2 massive steel beams fused together in the shape of a cross. The so-called Ground Zero Cross became a powerful religious symbol preserved today at the 9/11 Memorial. Long after the cleanup, body parts were still being uncovered. In 2006, the arm of a victim was found on the rooftop of a nearby bank, and as recently as 2013, fragments of human remains were discovered on a Manhattan rooftop over a decade after the attacks. Beneath the rubble, archaeologists found the remains of an 18th century wooden ship preserved under the World Trade Center site for centuries until the tower's collapse exposed it. Out of the 40,000 windows within the Twin Towers, only one of them survived 9/11. It's believed to have come from the 82nd floor of the South Tower, one of the 9 floors that was struck by the second plane.
A window that survived from the 86th floor is insane. Was it because of the fireproofing? Shout out to Morbid Facts. I'm happy he put this out because you can see that passport being showed what Charlie and that young man was talking about in that debate. Looks like the kid was right.
Did anyone see that press conference by the so-called FBI? Something's wrong. I know I shouldn't do this. I'm risking an awful lot to go up against this FBI, the MAGA FBI, something's very wrong with what I just heard. I mean, I watched it. I was hoping that they had caught the bastard who shot Charlie. So we saw a video of a person jumping off the roof. It looked very legitimate to me. However, there was no rifle in his hand. Now, the Mauser does not break down very easily, incidentally, for those of you who know weapons. Something's wrong with the whole thing. They're trying to claim he removed the barrel from the Mauser and fit the receiver and stock in his backpack and barrel in his pants leg all in 2 seconds. It is not easy to remove a Mauser barrel or index it after reinstalling and remain accurate. We are not hearing or seeing reality. And by the way, the photo of the rifle allegedly left in the woods has the barrel installed. So we're supposed to believe a guy is on the run after killing Charlie Kirk, and he pauses in the woods to reinstall a barrel, and then he leaves it for us to find, the FBI to find. I don't believe a word of it. I shouldn't do this. I know I'm putting myself at risk, but I can't take it anymore. I can't take the bullshit from this fucking government. It's lying to us. Something's wrong. Something's so wrong. It's sickening. Look at this idiot. They found the rifle and are getting the prints. Are you stupid? Are you that stupid? Are you that dumb? The man jumps off the roof. There's no rifle there. Oh, it's in his backpack. I just told you, moron, that this rifle doesn't break down that easily. And then it's supposed to be reassembled while he's on the run. Wait, I'll stop now and reassemble it and leave it in the woods in a box, wrapped in a towel. He left breadcrumbs. Oh, and the trans stuff on the cartridges. Bullshit. Something is wrong with this whole fucking picture. I am persona non grata in this White House. I will tell you right now. I flew with Donald Trump in Air Force One. I consider him close to me. I have not been able to get near him since this administration took hold. They have thrown me out. They've castigated, thrown me in the desert. They don't want me near them. They don't want real truth tellers near them.
Michael Savage, going savage. I never heard of this guy, first time seeing him, but I 100% agree with him. But I feel this man is shooting from the hip. He seems genuine.
With all the videos I've made on the Charlie Kirk situation, I try to address it from every angle. You can't put everything into one video or they take you down. I've been training for this for years. I am no rookie. Everything you say can't be put all together. Make it into pieced videos and nobody's gonna bug you, okay? So if you follow me, you'll be able to follow. Trust the process. My personal opinion is that 1 and 2 don't look like the same person. When I see the bottom image of Tyler, it doesn't look like the physical body of the person that was shown in the video. Now, I do believe that the photo on top has been enhanced, but still, I did notice the lips. The lips in the video surveillance were very fine. Now, one could say, but there isn't a lot of definition in those videos. True, but we're talking about FBI, CIA, these major top guns, right? They can enhance images, for the love of God. If someone wanted to look at my cell phone that I'm holding in my hand from a satellite, they could literally do it. That's the technology we have. So, when I see, yes, I did notice the chin also. He has a larger chin, he has a shorter chin. No, not only just the nose. The nose is actually the only thing that would look similar. The ears, too far away to understand it, but I did notice the lips. What do you think? I mean, are these two different people? Is this a scapegoat? Is that a professional? Tell me what you think. I'm just saying, I did get that vibe that they didn't really look that much alike. But could be bad angle of the photo. Hey.
I agree. The lips do not look the same. Like the one on the top, like his lip is more tucked in. I don't know how to explain it. Shout out to Christina Bruno, 1111.
There is not a live interview with this man since he is now in custody and alive, and I do not see an uncut, unfiltered, one-on-one talk. I'm not going to believe any type of narrative that either side tries to push to me. You're not going to tell me the timing a little weird or something. Bro been rocking with them for so long, and then within 3 months, he stopped vibing and sliding, moving and grooving, and next thing you know, gone. He's currently bombing 7 countries and carrying out a genocide and lies to people face to face with the camera saying the contents of the letter that Charlie Kirk sent him. Literally going through a transformation of trying to separate and get as far away as possible from you guys. I need an interview with George Zinn immediately, because why did you proclaim to be the shooter? And then your past is very, very interesting. Supposedly witnessed 9/11 firsthand, and then you sat down and talked with people and did an interview and said how much that crisis affected you. And then a couple years later, you get arrested for doing a bomb threat joke that you sent to the Salt Lake City Marathon right after the Boston bomb marathon happened. You miraculously show up at this Utah college campus, not to debate Charlie Kirk, but to say, I'm the shooter, shoot me, creating a perfect diversion for the actual shooter to get away and making national news as someone that is the prime first suspect. And once again, the FBI's evidence is now being called a lie. Discord looked into the servers and looked into the accounts and was like, yeah, there was no planning that we could possibly find of shooting Charlie Kirk. As soon as the fingers start getting pointed over there, dad all of a sudden just calls up the cops and says, I'm driving my son in, he's the shooter, he's the killer. It's just like, my kid? He could took out MLK and I'm defending him and driving him to another state. Last 33 hours, all I was hoping and praying that it wasn't one of us, that they came from out of state or from out of the country. Now, you could say that's racially biased. You could say that's either left or right biased, or you could just say that he just really didn't want nobody from Utah to be the shooter. That's up to you. This AI image, and see the flag in the background? They're trying to push this narrative that he was a loyalist, that he loved them, that everything that he did and was for was Israel. It's not. His reaction has been the most interesting to me, because this was supposed to be your boy, a legendary martyr, as you call him. And as soon as they ask you about him, I'm doing great. Guess what? I'm building the ballroom right over there. Nah, I'm dead ass.
Over the last 3.5 days. I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House.
Yeah, I'm holding up great. I know bro just died, but fuck all that, man. I'm about to have the best ballroom in the world. Insane. Charlie Kirk's wife came out and made a very heartfelt speech, and I felt very bad for her and everything that she's going through. She said that turning point is going to keep going. But if you're going to do that, I just want you to know, don't let Ben Shapiro dumbass take that shit over, because it will be ruined as fast as you tried to keep it going. Change in tune of right-wingers as they find out he was just a straight white male that was most likely right-leaning. We went from I need the death penalty to if he could have just sat across from Charlie Kirk and we praying for him that we know he would never carry out this evil act. Bitch, shut the fuck up. This dweeb waste of space. Rest now, brother. We're the watch. I'll see you in Valhalla. He was Christian, you fucking idiot.
What does a ballroom have to do with what just happened? Shout out to Lawrence Johnson, making a lot of good points.
This has got to be one of the most chilling lives I've ever watched. This wasn't just a grieving wife who was in pain. This was a rallying cry.
If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country. In this world, you have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
Her militant delivery is unsettling and worrisome. That kind of rhetoric galvanizes followers, and it will increase retaliatory mobilization. Her husband just died 2 days ago. Instead of calling for stop the violence, let's unite, what the hell is going on? We need to figure something out. This isn't the answer. She called for vengeance and more political violence. She ends every single sentence with that I don't give a fuck who gets hurt stare.
Charlie, I promise I will never let your legacy die, baby. I won't. I promise I'll make Turning Point USA the biggest thing that this nation has ever seen.
That was a warning, because history has shown us over and over that when tragedy meets militant rhetoric, movements will grow stronger and stronger. It needs to be stopped. While it wasn't a direct "we are at war with X," the effect of her words was to signal an us versus them fight. And that absolutely sounds like we're declaring war on anyone who disagrees with my husband's ideology. And holy cow, how she ended this. Terrifying.
Now and for all eternity, he will stand at his Savior's side, wearing the glorious crown of a martyr.
Those are indeed some strong words. Shout out to the dabbling chick. This whole situation is just creeping me out, if you know what I mean. I think the question we all asking is, who is she speaking to?
Okay guys, this is Charlie Kirk's open casket, and I need you guys to have a real eye here. Look at her ring. Look at them hands. Why is everything seeming so fake right now? Why would you film yourself grieving over your loved one? Why would you film that anyway? But nonetheless, that hand isn't real. Oh, look at that ring as well. Did you see that? Let me show you. So she seems to have a massive G, a ring on her finger. Why would she have a G? Her fellow was called Charlie Kirk. That's CK. Why would she have a big G? We know what the big G is, don't we? I wonder if it has any connection to the number 33 that they keep having pop up all over the media about this Charlie Kirk event.
Did you notice J.D. Vance deliberately lowering Charlie Kirk's coffin? The story behind it is heartbreaking. In the footage, the coffin stays tilted at about 30 degrees, and J.D. Vance keeps pressing down with his hand as if controlling the angle. Some criticized him for being disrespectful, even suggesting he was out of line, but the truth is very different.
The truth is very different. They were showing the world the 33-degree angle that they worship because that is what this situation was, an elite control of manipulation. You know, just like here on the famous photo that was pushed all over the media after the Charlie Kirk shooting that had the 47, 47, 47, which is 4 plus 7 is 11, 11, 11, 11, 33. It's always there. And what's that on his t-shirt? That says freedom, right? Well, if you numerically add all of the alphabet numbers up in freedom, somehow it adds to 66, which is the ultimate number of the mark of the beast. Half it, you've got the double 33, the all-seeing eye, the Illuminati symbolism. It is all over this Charlie Kirk death. But needless to say, please, can we have all the internet detectives on this one? Why is Charlie Kirk's hand looking like a clay model? And why are they even filming it? And why does she have a G on her finger? That G is a massive symbol and they know it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure if I was wearing a ring right now that said G on it, I would be getting comments left, right, and center asking if I was a Freemason, right? So we can question the big G because there is a, you know, a very questionable situation going on right here, especially when the hands of the deceased are looking like a fake person, not a real deceased body. And the propaganda of just filming it and crying over it just to get millions and millions of views definitely screams alarm bells for me. But obviously, for the sensory reasons, this was just for entertainment. Please let me know what you think in the comments. And I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby.
I think the fiction makes a lot of sense. Shout out to True Earth 911.
Y'all, so a political figure passes away on the eve of 9/11 during the 999 portal in the eclipse, and they made sure the whole world could watch the video. You think that's an accident? Nope, that's a setup. Let's talk about it. Now they got what they wanted. They have everybody on social media arguing about whether he deserved to die, whether it was about politics or karma. And that right there is exactly the trap. They want you distracted, divided, and debating morality, while they're pushing the bigger agendas behind the scene. That right there is how the Matrix work. They feed you drama so you don't question the system. So let's dive in a little deeper. Okay, so 999 means endings, completion, and karmic cycles shutting down. And then you add it in with the lunar eclipse, which means truth gets exposed and shadows get ripped wide open. And then you add it in with the 9/11 eve. That date already carries destruction and rebirth energy. So you gotta know that this death is not random. It's a ritual. And it's very symbolic. It's a mirror showing us that the old world is collapsing. See, the thing is, this is not just about one man. It's about control. It's about how easy it is to manipulate the collective energy. It's about how the system feeds off the chaos while people are too busy arguing about who's the victim or the villain. Chosen ones, do not fall for it. Do not get stuck debating whether somebody deserved death or not. Ask, why were you meant to see it in the first place? Ask yourself, what is this revealing about the collapse, and where is your energy flowing? Because the real war is not politics. It's for your attention, your vibration, and your soul. If you feel me, comment, I see the bigger picture, and protect your energy.
I agree. You definitely got to protect your energy. Shout out to Inner Journey Guidance. Making some great points right here.
You remember this dude right here? Seconds after Charlie, man, he jumps up and, USA! Well, he made a video, and let's see what he's got to say, y'all.
The event opened with music, people throwing hats, and loud exchanges from different parts of the crowd. At that point, I did not see what happened directly. My head was lowered while I listened. When I heard a sharp crack, at first I thought it might have been fireworks or a disruptive prank, so I looked up to the horizon for smoke. When none appeared, I realized it must have been a firearm. My friend reacted in horror, saying Charlie had been struck. His voice and description told me how serious it was. Based on his reaction, I believe Charlie had been gravely injured. I instinctively checked the security team's movement, though I have no affiliation with them. Realizing the situation was dangerous, I stood and shouted USA, not as a provocation, but to project strength, encourage others, and create a distraction that might help calm panic or even save lives. At that moment, no one knew whether this was a lone shooter or something coordinated.
Is anybody buying that story, or does it look like he's reading off a script? Obviously, people are going to say, well, he wrote it down so he could read it. Dude, look at the joy in his face. This is after they've already they're carrying him away. He's like, yeah, USA. Dude, this isn't a movie, man. What?
The dude barely could even read. Shout out to Mr. Clark Payne. Maybe he should go apply for a job at TMZ.
Maybe we should also ask a question. Is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because I know I've been conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions over the last couple of years.
I don't care if you hate Andrew Tate with every ounce of hate you have in your shitty little heart. There is something being played out that not a lot of people are going to tell you. Charlie Kirk might have been the first one to go, but he's not going to be the last.
Pretty strong statements that you've made. One of them says it's not only Charlie, there's a list, they're coming for the rest of us. What do you mean by that?
We no longer live in any kind of civilized political discourse. The left and the right are not arguing about interest rates or economic policy. This is a complete different worldview. These people lack spirits and souls, and they believe that anybody who disagrees with them or says a word counter to their narrative deserves a bullet in the neck. This is no longer political discourse. This is a divide which is much larger than most divides, which caused endless wars across the planet. And Charlie Kirk was killed for being the good guy, for being the nice guy. He hasn't been nearly as inflammatory as I have with many subjects. And they believe we deserve death, and they celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk in a disgusting, inhumane manner. Let's not forget, because it's easy to forget, attempts. Not only did they try to kill Trump, but we forget it because they were unsuccessful. They tried to kill Nick Fuentes. We forget it because they were unsuccessful. Did you even know they tried to kill me? Type Andrew Tate knife attack. Last month, somebody put on a high-vis vest pretending to be a builder, trying to get access to my house with a blade. And when he was identified, started slashing randomly because he couldn't kill me. So I'm on a death list also. And the media is spinning and hyper-radicalizing low IQ people into attacking anybody who has a worldview that's different to theirs. The media is absolutely, completely complicit. And I would argue that very few people on the planet had larger voices for the masculine youth than Charlie Kirk. If you want to say some names which are possibly up there, it's myself and Nick, and we've already had attempts on our life. This is disgusting. And this is no longer a political divide. This is no longer about policy. This is about good and evil. This is about right and wrong. This is a war. This is almost an unfixable problem. When people are laughing and celebrating a father dying in front of his children, because he disagreed with their worldview, especially when their worldview is wrong. Let's analyze as professionals. If you're going to sit and tell the world that men can be women because they put on a wig, and they believe you deserve a bullet in the neck the second you disagree with them, they are fighting objective reality. You can't agree or disagree with these people. Where is the political solution for people you cannot agree, disagree, conversate, or debate with? You tell me how we have a political solution to this.
Shout out to I Am Zephy for posting this. You can find the full interview here on YouTube. He's speaking the absolute truth, man. Shout out to Andrew Tate.
In the weeks leading up to his September 10th assassination, Kirk had come to loathe the Israeli leader, regarding him as a bully, the source said. Kirk was disgusted by what he witnessed inside the Trump administration, where Netanyahu sought to personally dictate the president's personal decisions and weaponize Israeli assets like billionaire donor Miriam Adelson to keep the White House firmly under its thumb. Like, according to Kirk's friend, who also enjoyed access to President Donald Trump in his inner circle, Kirk strongly warned Trump last June against bombing Iran on Israel's behalf. Quote, Charlie was the only person who did that, they said, recalling how Trump barked at him in response and angrily shut down the conversation. The source believes the incident confirmed in Kirk's mind that the president of the United States had fallen under the control of a malign foreign power and was leading his own country into a series of disastrous conflicts. I mean, it's an anonymous source, but like the gray zone, they don't fuck around. Like, I trust them more than the mainstream media for sure. The following month, Kirk had become the target of a sustained private campaign of intimidation and free-floating fury by wealthy and powerful allies of Netanyahu, figures he described in an interview as Jewish leaders and stakeholders. Quote, he was afraid of them, the source emphasized. At TPUSA, the rift with Israel widened, and, you know, it goes on. He had Tucker Carlson and Dave Smith on, and a lot more open conversation, and some really like legit shit was said. Some real truth was thrown down. And that, like, this is just my opinion, but in my opinion, if that was allowed to continue, if America spent the next year watching Charlie Kirk turn on the present administration in Israel, even if he maintained his sort of like greater Zionist stance, and even if he maintained his greater sort of like semi-Jewish like Christian identity, and I don't mean that as a dig, I mean that as like he literally like took Sabbath. Anyways, it that would have destroyed the American support for Israel. That would have entirely alienated the entire right wing under 25 or so, right? Like there's no coming back from watching Charlie Kirk slowly uncork his true feelings about Israel, if those are his true feelings, like we just read. And to then watch the fallout, because there's this other thing that happens, is any time that a person that has not been critical of Israel is critical for the first time on the internet, especially if they're Jewish, or especially if they were a supporter of Israel, and they say that first negative thing, and then they experience for the first time the just slander of like anti-Semitism, Nazi, you're a bigot, you far right, you crazy extremist, and you are immediately bombarded by the Hasbara propaganda attack machine. Suddenly Charlie Kirk is funded by Qatar, and all the other allegations get thrown out. Like,
before I let you go, I want you to address one thing, and it's just the absurdity of it. Some of the internet rumors that somehow Israel is behind the Charlie Kirk murder, and I don't believe it for 1 second, but I want you to make a statement. It's so absurd.
That's insane. That's insane. Israel also changes the orbit of the moon. Israel pushes the sun. I mean, the whole thing it's not only insane. I think it's so absurd, so stupid, and so ridiculous. You can't believe that people are saying this. They just found the perpetrator. They'll get to the bottom of this, but they go, they have no limits. When you hate Jews, when you hate the Jewish state, you're willing to say anything and promote all these absurd rumors. And by the way, they're willing to kill us all the time. I mean, that's what they're doing. And you know, over the centuries, when Jews, especially in the Middle Ages, the horrific Middle Ages, the worst things were said about Jews you couldn't possibly believe. We were poisoning the wells. We were drinking the blood of Christian children. You name it. I mean, these things, that continued actually up to the Holocaust. The Nazis said the same thing. You know, we're carrying vermin, we're spreading disease, and people believed it. And every time they believed it, this was a prelude to a greater and greater massacre, culminating with the worst massacre of them all, the Holocaust. Well, since then, we've learned, when people spread these lies about us, prepare yourself for the assault. And, you know, they're trying to delegitimize the state of Israel. Charlie Kirk said to me that, he wrote me this detailed letter, you have to fight the slander. These untruths, these vilifications have consequences. And he was right. But I'll tell you one thing, we're fighting on the battlefield against the terrorists and winning. And he was fighting on the battlefield of ideas. And I think he was winning. He was going to win. That's why they shot him. I hope they don't silence him. I don't think people will give in to these ridiculous lies.
Shooting of a Republican politician, it is very likely to be a trans Antifa Marxist shooter.
That is just not true. We don't know what this kid is.
We do know this kid was of the left. We do know that.
We do know what?
That this kid was of the political left.
It's 2 days out. We don't know shit, Ben.
But
we don't know shit. They never do. The internet is undefeated in getting it wrong to begin with. How are you so sure he's of the left? Now, I agree when you write on a bullet, catch this
fascist, which is also a gamer thing.
He may have been part of that group for whom Charlie Kirk was not right-wing enough.
You mean the Groypers, yes. I mean, so that would...
But you're sure he's not that?
I'm not sure that he's not that.
A minute ago you were sure what he was.
Hold on, Bill. Hold on. Okay, because I've been...
You were.
Rumors that somehow Israel is behind the Charlie Kirk murder. Rumors that somehow Israel is behind the Charlie Kirk murder.
That's insane. I think it's so absurd, so stupid, it's so stupid and so ridiculous. You can't believe that people are saying that they just found the perpetrator. They'll get to the bottom of this. But I don't think people will give into these ridiculous lies.
I think the DOJ should immediately move to unseal all the Epstein documents in the Southern District of New York.
And that's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed the deep dive. Enjoyed this video? Please consider to give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. Shout outs to all the reactors. Thanks again. Till next time.